Hello friends, welcome to Technique. This is Nirmal here, and in this video we're going to compare three smartphones in the sub 20k price segment. So we have the Moto One Fusion Plus with the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max and the Poco X2. So these are the three smartphones which are really popular in the sub 20k price segment, and they have really good hardware in the form of camera, the good processor, good display experience, software, battery life, good charging ability. So which of these are the best options and which of these areas these devices excel, and which one leads in terms of the overall experience for the price segment it is being offered. So let's get started. So if this is your first time on this channel, do hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell icon to get notified of all the videos we publish on this channel. Now coming back to the detailed aspect. Now first let's have a look at the design aspect. Now if you look at the design aspect of these three devices, you can see that the back panel design is quite unique on all the phones. So we have the Moto One Fusion Plus with a kind of different layout. The primary camera is in a single different layout. The triple camera setup, the Moto logo inside the fingerprint scanner, all look good. Now if you look at the Poco X2, again we have a quite good looking smartphone with the circular ring around the camera unit, which looks again good. Now if you look at the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max, again we have a symmetrical camera arrangement. So in terms of design aspect, we feel all the three devices are good looking. So here we actually liked the design of all the three devices, so we would give it 1 point to all the devices in terms of the design aspect. Now moving on to the build quality. Now this is one area where the Poco X2 as well as the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max takes the lead, because these two devices have glass finishing. So we have a glass back panel and feels a bit more premium than the Moto One Fusion Plus. The Moto One Fusion Plus is made of polycarbonate material, hence the build quality isn't as premium as the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max as well as the Poco X2. But having said that, having a polycarbonate back panel means that the chances of breakage are less, but still overall looking at the build quality and premiumness, we would give 1 point to the Poco X2 as well as the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max. Next, moving on to the display. So if you look at the display of these three smartphones, so all of them have full HD resolution displays. Now the differentiating aspect here is that the Poco X2 has 120Hz refresh rate, while the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max as well as the Moto One Fusion Plus is 60Hz. Now the display quality looks really good on all the three smartphones, and the brightness levels are slightly lesser on the Moto One Fusion Plus, but it does come with HDR10 enabled. Even Poco has that capabilities. Now if you look at the display protection, the Poco X2 and the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max offers Gorilla Glass protection, while this is missing on the Moto One Fusion Plus. So if you look at the display aspect of these three smartphones, so probably our pick would be the Poco X2 with 120Hz refresh rate, HDR10 enabled display, and you also get Gorilla Glass support. So we give 1 point to the Poco X2 in terms of the display. Now next, let's move on to the software aspect. So this is one area where the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max as well as the Poco X2 has quite similar experience. So we have the MIUI on these two devices. Now while this is MIUI for Poco on the Poco X2, the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max also gets the MIUI. Now the problem with MIUI is ads and a lot of bloatware included. So that's where the Moto One Fusion Plus takes the lead. With stock Android, you don't get any sort of bloatware, no issues with ads or anything. It's a very clean UI, just the Moto app and few customization options. So in terms of software experience, our pick would be the Moto One Fusion Plus, and the Moto One Fusion Plus gets 1 point for the software experience. Next, let's move on to the performance. So these three smartphones have a really good processor. We have the Qualcomm Snapdragon 730G octa-core processor on the Moto One Fusion Plus as well as the Poco X2, while the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max gets the Snapdragon 720G. So these two devices have the 730G, and they are really good in terms of performance, no issues whatsoever, and even gaming experience is also really good. And even the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max gets the Snapdragon 720G. You hardly hardly notice any difference in terms of the performance here. So in terms of the overall performance and gaming aspect, we would say that all are equally good. So we'll give 1 point to all the three devices because there isn't anything which substantially differentiates all these three devices in terms of the performance. So that's the performance aspect. Now next, let's talk about the cameras. So this is one very important aspect because a lot of users look at the camera as one of the primary aspect. Now all the three smartphones have 64 megapixel sensor. The Poco X2 is slightly superior in terms of sensor because it has a Sony's IMX686 sensor, while the Moto One Fusion Plus and the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max gets the Samsung's GW1 sensor. Now in terms of the camera experience, we would say that the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max was kind of slightly lesser when in terms of the overall performance when you compare with the Poco X2 as well as the Moto One Fusion Plus. So the camera, we feel the Moto One Fusion Plus and the Poco X2 are the best ones among the three. So we would give 1 point to these two devices. But then the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max is again a really good camera centric smartphone. But when you look at all the three cameras, probably our pick would be to go with either Moto One Fusion Plus or the Poco X2. So we have done a detailed camera comparison of these three smartphones, so you can have a look at them and then decide which is actually really good. The next aspect is the battery performance. So if you look at the battery, we have a 5000 mAh capacity battery on the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max as well as the Moto One Fusion Plus, while the Poco X2 gets 4500 mAh capacity battery, and Poco X2 has this battery drain issue with the 120Hz refresh rate. So there have been a lot of complaints regarding the battery drain on the Poco X2. So here we would say Moto One Fusion Plus and the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max are the winners in terms of the overall battery experience. So we would give 1 point for both Moto One Fusion Plus as well as the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max. Next is the charging technology. Now we have an 18 watt fast charger on the Moto One Fusion Plus, while we have a 33 watt charger on the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max, and we have a 27 watt fast charger on the Poco X2. Now here, if you look at the overall experience in terms of charging, the charging speed, the Poco X2 and the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max wins because both of them complete the charging in less than around 70-75 minutes. But again, if you look at the speed of charging, because the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max has to charge a slightly larger capacity battery than the Poco X2. So overall, if you look at the charging speed, the 33 watt charger on the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max is really good, but still almost equally equipped. We would give 1 point both for the Poco X2 as well as the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max. Now next is the call quality. Now all the three smartphones have equally good call reception. We did not see any sort of issues here. All the three smartphones come with VoLTE and voice over Wi-Fi, and we tested, we did not see any sort of issues here. So we would give equal points to all the three smartphones. So we will give 1 point to all the three smartphones. Now next is the fingerprint scanner as well as face unlock. So we have side-mounted fingerprint scanners on the Poco X2 as well as the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max, and both of them have face unlock as well. Now if you look at the performance of the fingerprint scanner, these two devices are equally good, while the Moto One Fusion Plus is a tad slower in terms of unlock speed, and moreover the Moto One Fusion Plus does not have the face unlock functionality. Although this has the pop-up selfie camera, there is no face unlock functionality on this device. So we would give 1 point to both the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max as well as the Poco X2. Now next is the RAM and storage offered. So all the devices come in 6GB RAM variant. So all of them have 6GB RAM as a base variant. Now the base variant of the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max as well as the Poco X2 is 64GB, while you get 128GB storage on the Moto One Fusion Plus. So Moto One Fusion Plus does get one additional point in terms of storage aspect. Now finally the pricing. So the Moto One Fusion Plus is priced 16,999, and so is the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max, while the Poco X2 is over 17,000 rupees. So in terms of the pricing, both the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max and the Moto One Fusion Plus gets 1 point each. So that is a comparison of these three smartphones. So now let's have a look at the tally, how many points these devices have got. So if you look at the tally, you can see that all the three smartphones have got 8 points each. So again, as I said before, it's a very closely fought battle for the device that's the best smartphone below the 20k price segment. So now, since all the three smartphones have got equal points, so what we would suggest is to decide based on what is your priority. Say for example, if it is camera, then go with the Moto One Fusion Plus or the Poco X2. So if you want a really great display, then the Poco X2 is a better option. Then if you want better battery life, the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max and the Moto One Fusion Plus are the better options. So based on these things, you can decide which is your pick, because each one will have their own preferences. So at least 2 or 3 preferences you can set from the chart which we have shown here, the comparison chart. So if you pick 3 or 4 aspects, you can actually choose your best device, because it's really difficult to actually decide a winner here, because each of these devices have their own pros and cons. So there is definitely no one big best device out of these 3, because it all depends upon what is your priority and what you want in your new smartphone. So hope this video was useful. So we'd like to tell our viewers that these are based on our testing. So again, it depends upon person to person. So you can actually get an idea about the device based on these testing. So that's it for this video. This is Nirmal signing off with the comparison of the Poco X2 with the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max and the Moto One Fusion Plus. So hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button and also hit the subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.